Tov sound check. Kine Matov sound check. Shabbat shalom. See, you hear that? Good. We are using our Slichot and Elul prayer book, Mishkan Halev, tonight. Sally is passing them out. Thank you, Sally. Which is our special prayer book for the Friday nights leading up to Rosh Hashanah, and gives us all the same prayers, but some different left side of the page English readings to help frame this season for us. So we'll enjoy that tonight. Thank you all for being here. I am going to invite up Janice, who is going to give a welcome on behalf of the Board of Directors.
Welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Janice Broomer. On behalf of the Board of Directors, say welcome. I want to let you all know, read your Thursday emails. And this Sunday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. is the Sisterhood Reconnect here. So if you are female identifying, please join and enjoy. And then you should have received High Holiday packets in the mail and your little High Holiday email ticket. And if you didn't, call the office, or if you need more tickets or visitor tickets, guest tickets, please call the temple office. So, and thank you very much. Yes, always thank you to Rabbi.
Thank you. I said not to do that. I said not to. Thank you. It is very nice to be here. It has been a few weeks since I've been with you all. Happy to be back, and Shabbat Shalom to everyone who's on our live stream as well. If you're on the live stream, give a little Shabbat Shalom in the chat so we know you're with us. We are going to begin, before we light the candles, we're going to begin with the sound of the shofar. During the days of Elul leading up to Rosh Hashanah, we have the opportunity to hear the sound of the shofar, which allows us to move into the season. And so if you have your Siddur, we're going to be on pages 90 and 91. So each time we hear the sound of the shofar, which traditionally the shofar is sounded every day except on Shabbat during the month of Elul, so we'll do it before we do candles as a way of sort of honoring that tradition of doing it before we welcome in Shabbat. And each time we hear the sound of the shofar, we offer a blessing as well. And before we read our blessing, which is on page 91, we'll start with a little kavanah on page 90. The shofar curves upward. Its name means beauty. Its essence is ascent. Sound of the ram's horn, lift us up from lethargy, shatter despair. Beauty beckons, tomorrow's door is open, and we can be better than we are. Let's join together in the blessing at the top of page 91. Baruch atah Adonai shomea truah. Blessed are you, Adonai, who hears the sounding of the shofar. Tekiah. Shvarim Tua. Tekiah. Yasher koach. Thank you, Greg, for being our Baal Tekiah tonight. And we have many opportunities throughout the high holiday season for blowing shofar. So if you are also a master of sound, a Baal Tekiah, and you would like to blow shofar, you can let me know, or Greg, or Keith. And if you want to learn for next year, maybe we'll get a little class going, shofar class. All right. So that's to welcome us awaken us to the holiday season, and now we'll welcome in Shabbat. We'll turn to page 10, which is where we find our candle blessing. And we will join together. Am I right that this is your last service here? I'm going to invite Lucy to come up and light the candles. Lucy is heading to Western very soon. Oh, great. Okay, fine. Oh my gosh, Sally, I'm sorry. I don't have nails. I don't know what you want me to do. Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikner shel Shabbat. Amen. And you want to grab that Kiddush cup for old time's sake? You can help me with this. Would anyone like to share a simcha before we join together in the Kiddush? Ed. Ooh, Ed and Judy's 43rd. 43 years and expecting another grandchild. Mazel tov. Greg.
I got a long-awaited bonus at work.
Woohoo! Greg got a long-awaited bonus at work. Well deserved, I'm sure. Anyone else? Yeah, Marnie. Dan started being on strike today, which is a good thing for you. Yeah. Anyone else? Grace Elizabeth? Your sister biked across Golden Gate Bridge, ran, and you biked behind. Great. That's amazing. Positive. Arnie? Beautiful. Shabbat dinner with friends. That is wonderful. If you're online, you can share. My kiddo started kindergarten this week. That was fun. Yay. Aw, and then you're leaving. What? Yeah. I don't think they do partial day anymore. I think all day is the only option these days. Yeah, so it's the only option for me, at least. Yes. No, she didn't. It's not a simcha. It's a...
Yeah, I'm sad about it.
Sad.
It's a simcha for some of us.
Christina's simcha is that Lucy's going to college soon. All right. Any other simchas? Any other joyous things you want to share? Okay, well, let's join together on page 12 for Kiddush. Come on over here, Lucy. Ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'rotzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziyat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta ve'tanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Time. All right. Thank you, Lucy. Sebastian, you have to keep an eye out on Lucy up at Western. All right. And we are going to move now to page 15 as we begin to welcome in the spirit of Shabbat. We'll start with the words of Psalm 97. Where's our And on Shabbat, as we move through the Kabbalat Shabbat part of our service, that part where we welcome in the Sabbath bride, the spirit of Shabbat, we join together in some different psalms as we reflect on our past week. And then before we get to Lachadodi, we sing or read Shalom Aleichem. So we're going to turn to pages 20 and 21. Oftentimes we sing Shalom Aleichem. We're going to look at an English poem interpretation today. In the middle of page 21, it says, 2 angels follow me home, Chesed and Gevurah, kindness and judgment, love and discipline. May both dwell within me, gentleness and generosity that expand my soul, firmness and self-restraint, the strength to say no. On this day of Shalom, may we be Shalem, well-balanced and whole. So as we move into Lachadodi, welcoming in that Sabbath bride, perhaps think about if there's one of those that you either could let in a little bit more into your life this Shabbat, or perhaps work on tampering down another one. Create some sense of balance for yourself. And we'll turn now to page 22 for Lechato D. Joining together in the verses on the page. And when we get to that final verse, we'll rise as able and face the entrance to our sanctuary. To stay standing as we turn now to page 26 for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Seated. Let's turn the page now After the Baruch Hu, we have a series of blessings, first of which is Ma'ariv Aravim, giving us the opportunity to notice and appreciate the changing seasons. Which I imagine that, like me, many of you are doing right now. I've been saying all week that I'm ready to like hunker down now. And also, just so you all know, you're all going to turn, and that's fine. As you know, we've been doing construction for many, many months on the ECC, and it's around this time of day that every time I look back there, it's concrete, but it looks like snow. I know it doesn't, like when you actually look at it, it doesn't, but when I'm leading and sometimes like in my peripheral vision, I'm like, holy cow, the seasons are seriously changing fast. Thank goodness they're not changing that fast. Whew, just have some light rain. No snow yet, but anyway, gives us the opportunity, Mari Varvim, to just notice what is happening or not happening. So we'll do it together on page 28. On page 31, let's join together in the reading at the top of the page, which will serve as our Ahavat Olam, our prayer, giving gratitude for the gift of Torah and knowledge. Let's try it together. If you find joy in Torah, you'll sit with the sages and drink their words, your soul refreshed like a tree by streams of water. Wisdom will follow you all the seasons of your life, celebration in the sunlight, consolation in the night. Your roots will grow deep. You'll anchor yourself in courage and hope. You'll savor and cherish the true work of your hands. Your passion for life will not wither or fade. They'll treasure the lessons you leave behind. Remember what you taught in word and deed, and those who come after you will honor your path. On page 30, the final line of the blessing, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, for you are blessed, the one who loves your people, Yisrael. On pages 32, 33, 34, 36, we'll continue with Shema and Ve'ahavta. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letutafot beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot peitecha uvisharecha Lemon tizkeruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim lechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem meretz Mitzrayim chem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem, amen. Micha Mocha is on page 40, and before we jump into the actual prayer, Micha Mocha is our song of joy and redemption. This week, in our second week of Elul, we, if you are reading your Thursday emails, in addition to knowing when the Shabbat, the Sisterhood Reconnect is, you will also know that we've been sharing a little reflection each week and a little prompt of something to frame your week. And so this week we have been focusing on the idea of laughter and joy. And there is a lot that is really hard in the world right now, globally, nationally, within our TBT community. I know for a lot of you in your families, there's just stuff going on. And it can be hard when things are so tough. It can be hard to I'm just supposed to look for moments of joy. But what I actually have found is that sometimes in those really hard moments, you almost need not necessarily searching for joy, though that is a good practice to have, but those absurd things that make you just laugh so hard that sometimes when you're in a really tough moment or a stressful place, it almost feels inappropriate. And then then it becomes even more absurd. And so I'm sure you can all think of those moments when you've something has just tickled your funny bone and made you laugh, and then you feel oh, I shouldn't be laughing right now, but then you just can't stop. And those are two, seeking out joy and those hilarious, absurd moments are two totally different types of, we'll say simcha or happiness in the world. And for those of you that filled out the little Elul form with your reflections, many of you focused on what brings you joy, which is beautiful and wonderful. So I also want to give us the opportunity to think about what makes us laugh. And so we're going to take just a few moments now. If you're online, you can share in the chat. If you're in this sanctuary physical space, we're going to turn to the people next to you. But before you do it, you're going to share what makes you laugh. And think not when you write LOL or ha, but what makes you actually laugh. Try and think about the last time that you were just laughing so hard. And if you're sitting next to someone that you've been married to for 50 years, and you already know the answer, what that person's going to say, maybe find someone else. Just say. maybe you'll surprise your spouse. I don't know. So take a moment. Is your answer that you make each other laugh? Because that's adorable. You see? All right, I have enjoyed eavesdropping on several of your conversations, and perhaps if it's something that you know you can seek out and pursue this Shabbat, maybe that's something that you should do to try and laugh a little bit. And maybe if the person you live with doesn't find the thing to be as funny as you do, that's okay, because that's what's so funny about it. Yeah. There's no fix for that. Yeah. May your Shabbat be filled with lots of laughter. We are going to now continue with Michamocha, which is on page 40, our song of joy and redemption. Not really a song of laughter, but that's okay. We are going to turn now to page 43, moving from Michamocha into Hashkivinu, which is our final blessing in this section, which gives us the opportunity to reflect on the places where we might be seeking a little bit more shelter and peace in our lives. At the top of page 43, the arrow flies over us and the sun sets. We go down into sleep, the terror and the mystery. We ask to lay us down and to raise us up. We ask for wings and the shelter of wings. In the dream we are given, the terror and the mystery, we ask for good counsel, the word that may shelter us, protect us and rescue us, rising us out of sleep. In the calm of night, that we may be restored. Translate the terror into the mystery of words. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem. So we are going to turn now to page 48 as we transition into the Amidah, Tefillah. If you're able, please rise and we'll join together. Adonai sefatati takufi agitekilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu v'Imateinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot, Mevi Gula Lifnei V'nechem, L'man Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer Mashiach Umagi, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Le'hoshia, Morid atah, Mechakel Chayim V'chesed, Mechayeh HaKol V'rachamim Abim, Somech Noflim V'rafeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Shenye Afar, Mocha Bal Geburot, Umito Melach, Melech Le'mi Tumechayeh, Umatziach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah L'hachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh B'Shem HaKadosh, V'kadoshim B'chol Yom Yivaleluch HaSalah, Baruch atah Adonai, El HaKadosh. Between the pages we just read, all the way through page 75, there are a lot of different reflections. So we're going to use the next few minutes either for silent prayer, or you can see if anything in the book resonates with you. You can feel free to be seated whenever you are done. In the spirit of the Amidah, which is our opportunity to talk with God, in whatever way we do that, I want to share a poem that was written by a colleague, Evan Schultz, that Rabbi Dusty just led a session with him for the CCR, and he recently wrote this. He wrote this earlier this week and shared this, and she shared it with me. So this poem is called "I Scheduled a Morning Meeting with God." I scheduled a morning meeting with God. Subject, role clarification. God was 5 minutes early. I was 5 minutes late. My youngest missed the bus. God seemed agitated. What's this about? Role clarification. We humans feel like we're shouldering a lot of the load these days. We need some help. God burst into tears, a daily occurrence. You cover the earth, I cover the sky. Haven't we been over this? God replied as she stared out the window. Well, it's not working very well, I replied as I tried to discern what God was staring at. God was silent for what felt like an eternity. I can't heal the sick or stop wars. I cannot prevent evil or calm the seas. I cannot change hearts or bring peace. I can pray for you and send angels to earth. I can offer you strength and cry for you. I can craft beautiful skies and incredible sunsets. And I can believe in you. Then I burst into tears, a daily occurrence. We'll close out our Amidah prayers on page 74 with Yihi L'Ratzon. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, God, our rock and our Redeemer. Yihi L'Ratzon, Imrefi, Ehyon Libi, Lefanecha. Yihi L'Ratzon, Imrefi, Ehyon Libi, Lefanecha. Adonai Tzori, Adonai Tzori, Adonai Tzori, Elohim. Adonai Tzori, Adonai Tzori, Adonai Tzori, Elohim. Yihi L'Ratzon, Ehyon Libi, Lefanecha. We turn one page to page 77 for our prayer for healing. As we do every Shabbat, we think of loved ones who are in need of healing. We'll begin on page 76. May the one whose blessings are many heal and bless us and all those who live in the shadow of illness. May God's care bring us comfort and courage. May God's love open our eyes to the faith and compassion around us. May the source of hope and renewal show us the way toward peace of mind, wholeness within, and strength from community. Source of blessings, as you inspired Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, inspire us too. Let us shine the soft light of human kindness in dark places. Let song, prayer, and silence be our instruments of care and healing. Let us all, the sick and the well together, be blessed as God blessed Joshua. Chazak ve'amatz, be strong and of good courage. On this Shabbat, we are thinking of congregants and loved ones, praying for the healing of Amy Thornton, Stacy Hetzel, Jacqueline Tara Smith, Deborah Rose, Eileen Kreisman, Ronnie Haber, Ellen Gottlieb, Vanessa Bianco, Paul McCready, Glenn Letts, Carl Wilhite, Ginny Gaston, Cindy Balin, Patty Newby, Joni Michaels, Joe Giordano, Brian Ward, Joshua Kornblue, Joe Dover, Christina Marie Lindsay, Janine Morris, Ron Louie, Barb Carmichael, Nina Winokur, Sally Wildison, Marnie Good, Sylvia Angel, Marion Laird, Wilma Weinstein Lomax, Nancy Gersman, Sheldon Robert, William Stangler, Andrea Gorovich, Richard Jones, Lisa Bush, and Kalai Sotalealoha. If there are other loved ones that you're thinking of on the Shabbat, if you're online, please share in the chat. If you're here with us, please share nice and loud. Thanks. Let's join together the bottom of page 77, the words of Mishabera. All right, in the spirit of seeking joy, I'm going to share a story. You all know, probably, that I love my stories, love my Jewish folktales, love to get absurd with my things like Frog and Toad. And so I'm going to share a story tonight that I do not think I have ever shared here. And it is not funny, ha, but it's funny, So, there you go. There was once a guard who worked at the border between two lands. He worked in the same job for many years, making sure that the people that entered one land brought in only things that would keep the land safe, and making sure that the people entering from the other land would similarly be sure not to put anyone in harm's way when they came through his gate. And it came to pass over the years that there was one person who came to the gate every single day at the exact same time, always with a bicycle, and the basket of the bicycle was always full of sand. The first few times it happened, the guard was incredibly suspicious. What was it that this man was bringing from one side to the other? What could he be hiding in all of that sand? And he went through it nearly grain by grain, but could find nothing. And so it happened day after day. And day after day, he found nothing dangerous, not a thing. So he would let the man through. And years went by, and along the way, the two men began to chat with each other. They learned each other's names. They learned about each other's families. They began to share their simchas, their celebrations, their tsuruses, their challenges. And still every single day, the same thing. A bicycle, a basket full of sand, with nothing to be found. Some days he would ask the man, should I be nervous? Should I keep you from entering? And the man would always answer sincerely, no need to be nervous. However, he never said what it was he was doing. And finally, after all the years of working, the guard decided it was time for him to retire and stop. He told his family, he told his friends, and on his last day, on the very last day, that he would protect one land from the other and the other from the first, he looked the man with the sand right in the eye and said, "This is it. This is my last day. All these years, all these days, all of our conversations, and I've never asked. I've got to know. I know you're smuggling something across, but I just cannot figure out what it is. I need you to tell me." And the man with the sand looked at him and said, "Bicycles. It's always been bicycles." So, we are now deep in the month of Elul, and we often talk about Elul as the on-road, the on-ramp to the High Holy Day season. It's meant to help us prepare for Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. And I think sometimes there can be a lot of pressure and buildup around that and what that means, we talk about these heavy things like teshuvah, repentance, and hashbon hanefesh, doing an accounting of our soul. And I was listening to a podcast today where they were talking about how, yes, Elul is an on-ramp to the High Holy Days, but it is also an off-ramp from the year we just had. And we shouldn't forget that. And in order to do the work for the High Holy Days, oftentimes we have to be able to look back at the last year. And so it's helpful to think about this as an off-ramp this time of year. And I don't know about you all, but oftentimes when we're thinking about the work of teshuvah, it can feel big, it can feel hard, it can, knowing where to start can be a challenge. And so I like the idea of using this time to think back on the past year and perhaps see if you can notice what are your bicycles, what are the things that are right in front of you. Because I think when we're in it, that's the whole point of this time of year, right? Is that we can sort of step back and separate. Because when you're in it, life being the it, when you're in it, it's easy to get distracted. It is easy to focus on the bag of sand and whatever that bag of sand represents for you. Perhaps it is coming up with explanations of why things are not going particularly well that have anything to do but you, actually. Maybe you're trying to justify the problems by coming up with some other explanation, or maybe it's distractions, whatever it is. And also, oftentimes, I think if we don't try so hard to overly complicate it, the thing is right there in front of us, the thing about ourselves. And that's what Elul is all about, is giving us the opportunity to see the big picture. This past, 2 weeks ago, now I was at a retreat for a fellowship that I just started. I'm in a 2-year fellowship with 12 other women called Voices for Good, and it is for women in positions of Jewish leadership. And so this was our first initial gathering where we mostly spent time getting to know each other. And in advance of that retreat, we had to fill out a personality thing, like Myers-Briggs-esque thing, except this was 3 questions. It's called the TILT personality, or TILT something, for those of you that are into this kind of thing. So I was doing my homework and I opened the thing and it's 3 questions, and I was like, 3 questions? Like how can a computer figure me out in 3 questions? That is absurd. So I fill out the 3 questions, and I hit submit, and it sends a thing back, and it says, this is who you are. And I've been telling people about this, so you may have heard me say this, that I felt very called out by, by what it came back to me, and like could not believe how in 3 questions it could so accurately describe me. And we spent, at the retreat, we spent almost like a half of a day looking at this for each of us, looking at the results of this, 3 questions, and I got like a 30-page thing back telling me all about myself. And it seemed absurd that it could distill, and yet, the things are often right in front of us, right? And so, as part of this TILT system, they offer, and so they shared with us at the retreat, there's a 4-week plan that's like to work on little aspects of yourself. And so we had to pick one thing that we were being called out for, but has a growth opportunity, a growing edge in the TILT report about ourselves. And we were given this piece of paper that said, here's something you can do. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And it just so happened that this retreat started on the 1st of Elul. And so this has become my Elul practice in a way. And it's been really liberating because, again, like I think, at least for me, I go into Elul feeling like this is it, and I have to like do it right and do all the things, and this is just one thing. And you don't have to do a TILT personality or Myers-Briggs or whatever to be able to think about, like, if I just think back and try and pick one thing that I know, if I'm really being honest with myself, I know to be true about myself, that maybe I could work on a little bit. And the week 1 is to just notice, like, mark off every time you do the thing, and then week 2, you're supposed to have a little correction so that every time you do the thing, then you just lovingly correct yourself and do the other thing. And it's just about retraining your brain. Couldn't tell you what weeks 3 and week 4 because I'm not there yet. But if you're curious, find me and I'll tell you. But I want to just encourage us as we are sort of in the midst of Elul, wherever you are. If you haven't started anything, if you're deep in it and overwhelmed, to maybe just like spend the next few days, Shabbat, week, whatever, just asking yourself, like, what's in that bag of sand, the thing that's distracting me from the actual things that I really need to work on? How can I perhaps set that bag of sand aside? What is my bicycle? Just pick one bicycle. What's my bicycle? What's the thing that's right in front of me? And how can I just spend a little bit of time with a simple thing, one little thing at a time? So I think that just the small changes that we make, those tikkuns, like those little repairs that we make, might feel like they're not perhaps as impactful as we want them to be, but they grow and build into something bigger, and that is how we create the lasting change that we want for ourselves. So, with that, we are going to continue on with Aleinu, which is on page 78, beginning our concluding prayers. So if you're able, please rise. If I'm remembering correctly, the one we do in Mishkan Tefillah is not in here. Am I right about that? Okay, we're going to join together on page 79 at the top. Here we go. Aleinu l'shabech Adon hakol, latet gdula leotzer bereshit, shehu noten shamayim v'yaser al haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shkinatu zo b'grohe meromim, hu Eloheinu Elon, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamachim, be seated. And we are going to turn now to page 83 as we move into Mourner's Kaddish. This poem is called In Blackwater Woods. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this: the fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go. We'll turn now to page 86 for Mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Yatom, giving us the opportunity to think about loved ones in our lives that we've had to let go of, perhaps in a physical way, though our memories are what keep them alive with us and continue to offer their legacy as a blessing. In the last 30 days, our period of Shoshim, we are mourning the loss of Erica Pearl, wife of Jeff Pearl and mother to Rachel and Ellie. We also are mourning the recent loss of Mary Helen Ammons, mother to David Oxsmith, and mother-in-law to Shauna Oxsmith. And on this Shabbat, we also observe the yard sites of loved ones: Dorothy Schuster, Irv Tolman, Joan Darvik Schatz, Debbie Ziff Castengay, Benjamin Gitlin, Floratina Badillo Salazar, Maud Cardy, Morris Rosnow, Liesl Nathan, Sadie Perchinock, Erwin Feiner, Joe Pardo, Horst Becker, Alice Newmark, and Ruth Pasternak. If there are names of other loved ones you're remembering, or if I mispronounce a name, if you're online, please share in the chat. If you're in the room, I invite you to rise as able, share nice and loud. If you are able, I invite you to rise as we join in support of our mourners and read together the words of Kaddish on page 86. Yikadal v'yikadash me Rabbah, v'alma divrach hiroteh v'amlich malchuteh, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chaye dekol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. You may be seated. We're going to finish with a song, and then we'll join together in Hamotzi. And then I hope you'll join us for a little oneg. All right, let's turn to page 92. Ethan or Michaela here? All right, let's join together in Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. B'te'avon. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Come get some challah. I know. Usually there's a kid. Run up and grab some. Thank you for asking. No, if you would stack your book in the hallway. These books are beautiful, and also they only have the air of the evening service in it.